Here we have some missing number division problems, and we can solve these problems using mental methods. So something divided by 8 is 90. We know that we can read division problems backwards as multiplication problems, so we can find our missing dividend by doing 90 times 8. We know that 9 times 8 is 72, so 90 times 8 is 720, because if there's one n0 in the question, there will be one n0 in the answer. So 720 divided by 8 is 90. And we know from division that if there's one n0 in the dividend, there will be one n0 in the quotient. Now, 4,200 divided by what is 7? Well, here it's not the dividend that's missing, it's the divisor. It's the second number in the question. And when that happens, we still need to use division to find our answer. So we need to divide 4,200 by 7, and that will give us our missing number. Now we know that 42 divided by 7 is 6, so 4,200 divided by 7 is 600, because 42 divided by 7 is 6, and then if there's two n0s in the dividend, there will be two n0s in the quotient. So our missing number is 600. And we can see that 4,200 divided by 600 gives us the same answer as 42 divided by 6. And that's because we can cancel two n0s. Now, 490 divided by something is 7. Again, it's the divisor that's missing, so we need to divide 490 by 7 to get our missing number. We know that 49 divided by 7 is 7, so 490 divided by 7 is 70, because if we have an n0 in the dividend, we need an n0 in the answer. So 490 divided by 70 is 7, and we can see that gives the same answer as 49 divided by 7, because we can cancel these n0s in our division question. Now, something divided by 5 equals 300. So it's the dividend, it's the first number of the division question that's missing. So we can read it backwards as a multiplication question. We can find our missing number by doing 300 times 5. We know that 3 times 5 is 15, so 300 times 5 is 1,500, because if there's two n0s in the question, we need two n0s in the answer. So 1,500 divided by 5 is 300, and we can see 15 divided by 5 is 3, but then if there's two n0s in the dividend and we can't cancel any, we need two n0s in the quotient. Something divided by 50 equals 8. Our dividend is missing, so we can find this missing number by reading the question backwards as a multiplication and working out 8 times 50. We know that 8 times 5 is 40, so 8 times 50 is 400, because 8 times 5 is 40, but then if there's an n0 in a multiplication, we have an n0 in the answer. So 400 divided by 50 is 8, and we can see that gives the same answer as 40 divided by 5, because we can cancel our n0s in the division question. Something divided by 700 equals 8. It's the dividend that's missing, so we can read it backwards as a multiplication and work out 8 times 700. We know that 8 times 7 is 56, So 8 times 700 is 5,600 because we have two end zeros in the multiplication. So 5,600 divided by 700 is 8. And we can see that gives the same answer as 56 divided by 7 because in division we can cancel two end zeros in our question. Something divided by 300 is 40. It's the first number that's missing, so we can read the question backwards as a multiplication to find our missing number. We know that 4 times 3 is 12, so 40 times 300 is 12,000, because here we have a total of 1, 2, 3 end zeros in the multiplication question, so we need 3 end zeros in our answer. So 12,000 divided by 300 is 40. And we can see from the division question that if we cancel the two end zeros, we get 120 divided by 3, which is 40. Now, something divided by 500 equals 500. Again, it's the first number that's missing, so we can use multiplication to find our answer. 5 times 5 is 25, so 500 times 500 is 250,000. That's because we have a total of 4 end zeros in the multiplication question, so we need 4 end zeros in our answer. So 250,000 divided by 500 is 500. And we can see that if we cancel two end zeros, we get the same answer as 2,500 divided by 5. Now, 280,000 divided by something is 700. Well, here, it's the second number. It's the divisor that's missing in our division question. So, we still need to use division to find our answer. We need to divide 280,000 by 700. We know that 28 divided by 7 is 4. So 280,000 divided by 700 is 400. That's because we can cancel two of our end zeros, so then we have 2,800 divided by 7. There's still, after we've cancelled, two end zeros in the dividend, so there's two end zeros in the quotient. So we can see we've cancelled two of our end zeros and we get the same answer as 2,800 divided by 4. 4,800 divided by what is 80? Again, it's the second number in our division that's missing. It's the divisor that's missing, so we still need to divide to get our missing number. We know that 48 divided by 8 is 6, so 4,800 divided by 80 is 60. That's because we can cancel one end zero, but then we still have an end zero in the dividend, so we need an end zero in the quotient. So our missing number is 60. And again, you can see if you cancel an end zero, you get the same answer as 480 divided by 6. Now, 72,000 divided by what is 800? We need to use division to find our missing number because it's the divisor, it's the second number that's missing. We know that 72 divided by 8 is 9, so 72,000 divided by 800 is 90. That's because we can cancel two end zeros, but then we still have an end zero in our dividend. So 72 divided by 8 is 9, but then we have an end zero in the dividend, so we need an end zero in the answer. So 72,000 divided by 90 is 800. And in the question you can see it works because if we cancelled an end 0, we have 7,200 divided by 9. Now something divided by 30 is 70. Well, here it's the first number in our division question that's missing. It's the dividend that's missing, so we can find that missing number by reading the question backwards as a multiplication and doing 70 times 30. 7 times 3 is 21, so 70 times 30 is 2,100, because there's a total of 2 end zeros in our multiplication question, so that's 2 end zeros in the answer. So 2,100 divided by 30 is 70, and you can see it works because in the division, if we cancelled the end zeros, we would have 210 divided by 3.